It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Hey, good morning and welcome to Tuesday Travel and Cruise Industry News Podcast. On this, the 29th day of October 2024, brought to you by Will U.S., the owner of Scoot Around and Chillie Cruises. Not a whole bunch of news today, but a few stories. Of course, the one story that I promised you about yesterday is my lead story today. And that was a huge announcement from MSC. Also, this morning, we're going to talk about a Coast Guard evacuation that's a little bit different than we're used to. Happened near Galveston. We found some outbreaks in hot tubs. Not the hot tubs you'd think, though. I was really kind of surprised about this one. Seattle Shore Power and 20 years in Baltimore. That and lots more here at 11 o'clock this morning. So a couple little news things for me before we get to on to everything. Well, no, first, let's do this. Let me not get totally out of order. Today's National Cat Day. We're not celebrating food today. Sherman and Cottonelle said, no. It's National Cat Day. That's what you're going to talk about. So if you have a house that's run by cats like mine is, do something nice for the cats today. I gave them a little extra victuals at 5 a.m., which is normal. All right, today in 2009, John Sanford Hart reaches the summit of Mount Kilimanjaro on crutches. His ascent, which took 4 days, 20 hours, and 30 minutes, set a world speed record for climbing the mountain on crutches. I had no idea. I'll get back to that in a second. But first, if you're listening via the podcast, you can always access the podcast via my blog, which is accessadventure.net, or wherever you get your podcast from. Just search for Travel and Cruise Industry News, and up pops the Fat Travel Guy. Okay, so, I started doing this a couple weeks ago, several weeks ago now, on doing a this day in history kind of thing. Well, I absolutely caught hell about yesterday. Not so much from what I did, but what I didn't do. Yesterday, if you recall, I used the Volstead Act, which was on yesterday's That Day in History. It led to a prohibition, which to me was a black day in history. That would be awful. And so I had some comments that, man, you missed the important things from yesterday's date. So this is just a few things that happened on October 28th. In 1929, the stock market crashed. Was on October the 28th. How about in 1886, President Grover Cleveland? By the way, folks, I've never said the word Grover Cleveland on this show before. This is a first. In 1886, Grover Cleveland officially dedicated the Statue of Liberty in New York Harbor. How about in 1962? That'd be August 28th, 1962. The Cuban Missile Crisis came to a peaceful conclusion when Nikita Khrushchev announced that the Soviet Union would dismantle its missile bases in Cuba in exchange for the U.S. agreeing not to invade Cuba. Bill Gates, the founder of Microsoft, was born October 28th, 1955. And in 1965, the Gateway Arch in St. Louis was completed on October 28th. Who knew? So obviously somebody's paying attention to what I was doing. This was just a little extra thing to throw in. So anyway, all those things happened on October 28th. Next year on October 28th, I probably won't remember that. But all right, the other thing, folks, hit 6,600 subscribers during the night last night. So we're heading for 7,000. Not quite the 100,000 that I'd like to have on this channel by next week, but we're getting there. So anyway, so that's coming up. I'm not taking phone calls, people. Why are you calling me? All right, so that's going to wrap up this portion of the show. So let's get to the news after a quick break from one of our fine network sponsors. All right, so the top story today, of course, like I mentioned yesterday, folks, I've known about this for 3 weeks now and was not allowed to say anything about it. And even yesterday, when it started breaking, I still wasn't sure about the dates. And Amy was able to tell us what MSC had said about it yesterday morning. So I've now got all the information together. On May 11th, 2026, MSC Poesia will set sail from our brand new home port in Seattle, being our 5th U.S. home port, marking a major milestone for MSC Cruises. We're thrilled to bring our unique blend of European elegance and American comfort to the West Coast. I spoke with Elizabeth Lee, MSC Regional Executive, and she said our clients can be among the first to sail with MSC Cruises to Alaska, a once-in-a-lifetime destination filled with endless discovery starting in the summer of 2026. They can cruise on MSC Poesia from Seattle and experience the stunning beauty of Ketchikan, Juneau, Icy Strait Point, and more. Marvel at majestic glaciers as you cruise through Tracy Fjord and keep an eye out for bald eagles soaring. Whether you're kayaking through cool waters with awe-inspiring views or enjoying fresh seafood by the shore, this journey offers a unique opportunity to explore some of the most breathtaking landscapes on Earth. Plus, on board MSC Poesia, enjoy a variety of music, bars, and lounges, providing the perfect way to unwind after a day of exploration. Book now and uncover Alaska's beauty with MSC Cruises. Seattle will be MSC's 5th home port, bringing our signature mix of European style and American comforts to the West Coast as they continue to expand our offerings to the North American market. The sailing dates from May through September in 2026, destinations Ketchikan, Icy Strait Point, Tracy Juneau, and Victoria in British Columbia. There's also going to be some special itineraries which are not posted yet on the MSC Poesia repositioning between Miami and Seattle. So that might be some unique adventures to check out. Prices start very reasonable for Alaska Cruises, about $700 per person, $1,100 solo, and then balcony cabins are far better than most other cruise lines, starting about $1,179 and going up from there. So that's the MSC Poesia as MSC takes on Alaska in 2026. All right. One thing that I'll point out before we go on, I was doing a whale watching excursion out of Juneau. This would have been not this summer, last summer. And I was sitting on the boat, actually right behind the captain's seat, which was a good place to be. And of course, I'm looking out the window. This wasn't a big enough boat for me to roll the chair around. I pretty much was in the seat. But as we were going out there, a bald eagle swooped down, couldn't have been more than 20 feet off the side of the boat, right straight out from my head, swooped down, grabbed the fish, and flew off. And that was probably the most majestic thing I've ever seen in my life. I mean, we saw a bunch of whales that day, which was awesome. But that bald eagle still is in my memory. So, hey guys, consider this. If you've never been to Alaska, you need to go. Just call me. All right. Before I get into this, and I don't remember if I said anything about it here. This came about yesterday. Took me totally by surprise from our buddy Gary Older Than Dirt. All right, cruisers, this is a quickie. I picked up on this yesterday as I booked Gary Older Than Dirt. Voyager of the Seas. This is a zero solo supplement for you solo guys. 4-night cruise sailing from Port Canaveral, November the 26th. That's only, a month from now. Pricing. Solo cabins from $431. Double occupancy from $475 per person. All you have to do is call or text me 434-258-9264 and join Gary Older Than Dirt on Voyager of the Seas. What a deal. 71-year-old male guest aboard Carnival Jubilee, which had only departed on its 7-night voyage from Galveston at 2 p.m., was medically evacuated Saturday evening while the ship was offshore Texas in the Gulf of Mexico. Coast Guard Sector Houston Galveston received the call approximately 5:19 p.m. from a crew member aboard the 5,300 passenger ship sailing to its first call in Roatan, Honduras. Exhibiting symptoms of a heart attack, the Coast Guard launched a 45-foot response boat from Station Galveston to medevac the man, enlisting support from the Galveston Fire Department. On scene, the crew safely embarked the passenger, and the fire department and local EMS teams were waiting. They transported him to a nearby medical facility for further treatment. No further details have been provided on the passenger. Interesting that they did this evac via boat rather than via helicopter. Passengers relaxing in private balcony hot tubs on luxury cruises never expect their retreat to come with a hidden risk, a severe, sometimes deadly, respiratory infection traced directly to these bubbling waters. But a new Center for Disease Control and Prevention investigation has linked these private paradises as the source of a recent outbreak of the infection known as Legionnaire's disease on 2 unidentified cruise ships. A severe form of pneumonia caused by Legionella pneumophila bacteria, the CDC found 12 cases among passengers who traveled on 2 cruise ships between November 2022 and July of 2024. The CD first detected issues on cruise ship A, with 5 passengers reporting symptoms after a November 2022 voyage. In the following months, cases continued to surface, ultimately impacting 8 passengers by April of 2024. As the outbreaks occurred in private hot tubs, the CDC has issued broader guidance for cruise ships, suggesting more rigorous maintenance standards beyond the current weekly chlorination recommendation. We have the equipment you need to stay mobile. Whether you need a wheelchair, scooter, power chair, rollator, oxygen, or other pieces of mobility equipment, Scoot-Around, powered by Will, can help. Once you've booked your rental, we can deliver it to wherever you need. For your mobility needs, contact me or call Scoot-Around at 888-441-7575. Use SRN 11137 for the best rates. The Port of Seattle announced that the Bell Street Cruise Terminal at Pier 66 is now equipped with shore power. With this $44 million investment, all three of the port's cruise berths now support shore power technology, allowing ships to connect to the Seattle City light grid and turn off fuel-based engines to reduce air emissions. This milestone makes Seattle one of the first cruise ports to simultaneously offer shore power at all berths. Carnival Cruise Line marked 20 years of operations from Baltimore with a special event aboard the Carnival Pride, honoring first responders who assisted after the Francis Scott Key Bridge collapse. Carnival President Christine Duffy hosted the celebration, welcoming Maryland Governor Aruna Miller, Transportation Secretary Paul Weiderfeld, Baltimore Deputy Mayor J.D. Merrill, and Maryland Port Administration Executive Director Jonathan Daniels, along with U.S. Naval Academy representatives. Significant price drop on the Norwegian Bliss, February 2nd, transatlantic from Southampton to Miami. Solo studios are now $11.22. Double occupancy start at $11.43. Both prices include taxes and port charges. The ship will sail on February the 2nd, 2025 from Southampton, land in Miami on February the 15th with stops in Le Havre, Vigo, Lisbon, and Ponta Delgado along the way. Why not join us on a fabulous transatlantic cruise on the Norwegian Bliss, sailing February 2nd? Just give me a call, 434-258-9264, and we'll see you on the Bliss. And I will say, folks, just a few minutes ago, the inside cabins on the double occupancy have dropped from the $1,100 it was to $832. So double occupancy has dropped. Solos stayed the same price. But anyway, so there's another little break. Man, if you're interested in that, let me know. Just give me a call. We're glad to have you in our little group of merry men and women. Let's see, what else did I have? Oh, yeah. So Amanda, my niece, has been gone for, 5 days, something like that. She went up to Indiana to see her dad. She got in last night. She landed in Greensboro at 12:15 a.m. and then drove home from Greensboro. So I got up about 3:30 during the night. For you people that are my age know why I got up at 3:30. But anyway, so she was home then. Of course, I left the door open and the porch light on for her. She was home. So I noticed the light was off. So I didn't hear her come in. That might have been what woke me up. But anyway, so she's back home and she is up and gone already. She's going to the grocery store and getting back in the swing of things today. She's got a couple pet sitting clients. So it'll be good to have Amanda back home now. She missed all the action around here. The other thing, folks, I can't tell you how good it was to take a shower this morning in a bathroom where I wasn't afraid of catching pneumonia again. The heat was turned on yesterday afternoon. So they finished the project. Interestingly enough, he asked me, what do you want the thermostat set for? So I told him where we'd always kept it set, between, I freeze in what I call the cave. This is in the old part of the house. It was built in 1903. Has nothing under the floor but air. So it gets cold in this corner of the house. It's also the corner that catches the most wind. So I have a tendency to freeze in my room anyway. My sister, as she's gotten older and then gone into the dementia thing, she stays cold. So we set the thermostat at 74 to keep her comfortable, and that helped keep my room comfortable. I still have a little heater in my room that sometimes I have to turn on just to, do a little better in my room. So I told the guy, just set it at 74. That's where we normally keep it. In 10 minutes time, I was sweating. I mean, literally sweating. So I turned it back 4 degrees. Since then, last night it was not quite as comfortable, so I turned it up a degree. So still, we're 3 degrees less than we've had it on for years. So the new system is definitely a lot more efficient. So, of course, it's got to save a whole lot of money now to pay for itself. But anyway, it was nice to get up this morning in a warm bathroom, because this last week, man, it's been brutal for me. All right. That ends the news portion of today's show and me wasting a lot of time. So let's go see who's fussing at me in the chat room. I had said hello to Kenneth, Mike, and Hot Air Tom before I got on the air. There's Gary Old in the Dirt. Hi, Gary. Katie's with us. She says, good morning from the road. So I will be listening intently. Well, Katie, glad to hear that you're listening. Be safe out there on the road. Who was that? That was Kenneth saying good morning. There's Joanne. Good morning, Joanne. Gretchen's with us. She says, hi there, everybody. Hi, Gretchen. Bob Sears says, good morning, gang. Back from Utopia. Very nice cruise. Way too much to do for a 3-day cruise, though. Yeah, and it was sad that they had to, cancel some protocols to weather. Was that on your cruise, or was that on this next cruise? Yeah, anyway, no, because the weather's supposed to be Monday, so it's probably this next cruise. So you probably got to go on to where you were supposed to go. But yeah, it's a short cruise. I've never done a 3-dayer. I've done some 4-dayers, and they're too short. A 5-dayer's too short. I've gotten where a 7-dayer's too short. But then I like to be in the boat all the time. So, but glad you got to go on Utopia. Let's see. Mike put a thumbs up in. Yeah, everybody don't forget, thumbs up. Smash that thumbs up button. Cindy says good morning to everybody. Amy says howdy. Kenneth says, is there one stop in Alaska you have to go no matter what? What is your favorite stop? Wow, that's a tough one. I mean, almost all the cruises go to the 3 main ports, which is Skagway, Ketchikan, and Juneau. I did my whale watching out of Juneau. I did my tour to the Yukon up to play with the Iditarod puppies up at Michelle Phillips' place. I did that out of Skagway. And let's see, Juneau has the Mount Roberts tram, which is well worth whatever they charge for it these days, just to get up on top of that mountain for the view. Ketchikan is an interesting little city. I thoroughly enjoyed the logging show for an inexpensive, accessible event. I recommend that for all ages. That was great. Let me think. The smaller ports are they all have good points, but are lesser than those three. I would probably say you got to go to Juneau. I mean, that's the capital. There's a lot to do. There's plenty of eating. It's expensive to eat, but like Tracy's Crab Shack, I mean, I won't stand in line to get in that place. But there's good things to do in Juneau. Good excursions out of Juneau. Ketchikan could be interesting. I'm going to have, excuse me, I'm going to have a whale watching excursion. A gal, she and her family have a boat that they've made into an accessible boat out of Ketchikan. She's going to be on the show one of these days. That could boost Ketchikan up. Hard to say, Kenneth. I would say one of those three. Juneau would be probably one. Skagway and Ketchikan they're all three. Just really good ports to go to. So, Emily's here. She says, hello, Chillie and gang. Hi, Em. Are you going to host on any of the Alaskan cruises on MSC? I certainly hope so. That'll be in 26, but yeah. Probably going to put together. So Nate was in Florida and flew back to Alaska yesterday. So he's back home. So he's got to sleep now and get caught up on sleep. But he and I will probably talk and come up with at least one cruise for Alaska and really try to get a good group on the Poesia. Again, I've not been on the Poesia. I'm looking forward to that. I may not go to Alaska this coming year because of all that I'm doing with Hot Air Tom and all my expenses that have been going on here at the house this year. I need to let some money accumulate, quite frankly, folks. But yeah, definitely with MSC. And you'll be hearing something on that, Kenneth, probably in the next few days. So let's see, where are we here? There's Jamon Watson. Hello. Setting sail on the Euro Dam with my wife, daughter, and mom this Saturday. First cruise of the year. Can't wait to get back on the water. That's awesome. I've not been on Euro Dam, but I love Holland, America. Please take some pictures. Send us some pictures. Put them, get in my Facebook Messenger and send pictures or clips or anything, and I'll use them. Again, I love Holland America. So I can't wait to see how you do on Eurodam. I like that. I like it a lot. Kenneth says, enjoy your cruise. Absolutely. All right. Hot Air says the Legionnaire issue was on Prima last year. I hope this news is not a year old from the incident. NCL closed the private room hot tubs for a while and then instituted the new rules. Not like, yeah, that was the first case. On the CDC is not coming out and saying which one's which. I was also aware of that on Prima. I do not know the one that was this summer, the second one. I'm not sure which cruise ship that was. But yeah, this was a fresh news story, Hot Air, right, literally yesterday. Todd's with us. Good morning, Todd. Always good to see you, my friend. Emily saying hello to everybody. Bob says it was on the next cruise that they had to they canceled the ports because there might be some weather. So just to get back to that, because Hot Air Tom was telling me that this is what might happen. You know, I pulled up all my maps again today. I looked at all the systems. I see what they're talking about. I don't see it developing like they're saying it might. Clearly, it's not. To me, it wouldn't be a might enough to start canceling things. There's nothing yet on the maps from the National Hurricane Center. Zero. Not even a tropical wave. Nothing. And with all the information, and again, now I'm not a meteorologist, and I'll be the first one to say, boy, was I wrong about that if it happens. I just don't see anything coming from this. Yeah, it's going to rain. Yeah, sure, there'll be some showers and stuff, but I don't see it, blowing up at all. Hot Air Tom says, I had a guy not like my plan to sit on the balcony and watch the water go by. He insisted sitting by the pool where the crowd was necessary to talk with others. Told me to go to a resort and watch. Yeah, I can see that, Hot Air Tom. YouTube. The Crab Shack was so expensive. Yeah, Tracy's Crab Shack. I mean, it's like, I don't remember what, $80 or something for a thing of crab and more. Yeah, it's expensive. I mean, it's still a neat restaurant. I mean, I go sit there and watch them cook because they cook right at the end of the building there. But yeah, it's expensive. I think. Now, somebody like Hot Air Tom, maybe he wouldn't think it's expensive, but I think it's expensive. Hot Air says, I told him the resort would be better for pool sitting with a real decent sized pool. I like the ocean view. Yeah. The Crab Shack. Yeah, it's Tracy's Crab Shack. That's the name of the restaurant in Juneau. Hot Air Tom says, let's get Chillie on the 23-day Joy, and then we can leave him in Alaska for the 26th season. Yeah, no, that's not going to happen. I can't. I can't afford the 23-day joy after all I'm doing in the next 6 months. Plain and simple. Don't mind saying that. Cindy says, still have never been to Alaska. Wow, Cindy, you got to do that once. I mean, I know you're like me. You're a warm weather gal. So warm. Take a coat. Yeah, take some mittens. Just for the beauty of Alaska. To me, it's just. I mean, remember, I've gone up there now. I've been up there 5 times, and three times was in a wheelchair. 2 times I was still on scooters. So I have had mobility challenges every time I've been to Alaska. That kept me from doing a lot of things until, I started actually finding out how to get away from the cruise lines on some of these ports so I can find excursions. So, and I didn't care that I wasn't going anywhere. I didn't care that I couldn't go on whale watching. I didn't care that I couldn't go see the bears or go to the glacier. I was perfectly happy just to go, again, spend a little time. Yeah, I spent time at port every day, going around Skagway, going around Ketchikan, doing the few little things you can do in town, like the logging show, going up Mount Roberts. First time I did Mount Roberts, that was when I was on Royal Caribbean up there. Matter of fact, Mr. Bucket List was on that cruise. Yeah. So without being able to do anything, Cindy, I still fell in love with it. And the only reason I'm not going to go back in 25, number one, again, I'm spending a lot of money this year that I got to let my funds start building back up again. And the other thing is, how much I hate to fly. And it's not that I hate to fly, it's I'm uncomfortable flying. And I can't afford, first class or even business class seating. So I may not go this year unless I can put something really good together. But anyway, come MSC, because that's going to be, I'm going to be promoting the devil out of that. I guarantee it. Yeah, I could see having at least one group cruise that I host up there. Probably Nate and I'll host it together, because he and I like to sail together too. So Elizabeth's laughing at hot air. Tom, what ship do you recommend for Alaska, in your opinion? Well, obviously, I'm going to look at the Poesia. It's hard to recommend one, Emily. I mean, each one of the cruise lines has great ships up there, and it changes from year to year. Royal Caribbean's got Ovation of the Seas up there, nice ship. I was on, oh Lord, which one I was on? I can't even remember now. I've been on so many. Holland America's always got 3 or 4 ships. Koningsdam is one of the best ones to go on in Holland America. Norwegian, the Bliss, the Star, Sun or Sky, one of them is usually up there. Carnival always has a couple of ships up there as well. Princess, I did the Grand Princess this year. Last year I did Sapphire Princess. Princess is excellent. Princess was really good. So, I mean, I'd have trouble recommending a ship for an Alaska cruise. I've not been on Poesia, so I can't really recommend that till I get on it. But I'm going to probably take a group and get on Poesia, and we're going to find out how it is all together. So, Chillie, since you have been, let me put this up. So, where to go? Kenneth, I lost you. There it is. Since you have been on Princess and other cruise lines to Alaska, is it true Princess or Holland America is the best to go to Alaska? What makes them better to go to Alaska than other cruise lines? Well, one of the things is they go together and do things like land excursions. So you quite often are doing things with Holland America and Princess Cruises that are in the same ports at the same time. Do I necessarily recommend that over others? Not really. I mean, I had a great time on Royal Caribbean up there. That was an excellent cruise. I've enjoyed both of the Holland Americas. I've enjoyed both the Princesses I've been up there on. I've not done a Norwegian up there. So I don't know that I'd say it's better, because you can also do land tours with the other cruise lines as well. It just seems that the two go hand in hand as far as, and they're both owned by Carnival. So, it's all under the Carnival umbrella. I just like the way Princess and Holland America do things, especially for my age, as opposed to Carnival. And, remember my last cruise before Alaska was on a Carnival ship. So I don't not go on Carnival, but I just, at my age, I prefer some a little more sedate, I guess you'd say. $80 for a crab dinner. Yeah, it's a lot. I think it is. Can they have the docks locked up for years in advance, and they only allow 2 ships in the Glacier Parks at a time? They have most of those slots too. That's one of the. I hadn't thought about that, Gretchen. You're right about that. But other lines are coming in, so. But yeah, those are Princess and Holland America are definitely leaders in Alaska. Years ago, Tracy used to have a sign that could be seen from the cruise ship that says, "Tracy has crabs." We always got a laugh out of that one. I remember seeing Tracy has crabs too. Yeah. I would say it's more a decision on port times. NCL Bliss and Encore doing 7-day Seattle cruises have short port times and seem like they are rushing from place to place. It would be better if you had more port times. I'm sure a hot air time, if they did a bit longer cruise, was the finished hot air statement. That's why we picked Joy in 2026. It's a 9-day cruise out of Seattle, and the port times are much better. Sound all very good to me. Chillie for Alaska. Tom says, Amy, that's sort of like try my nuts at the eastern beaches. Yeah, that's true. All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up for today. Again, thanks for being here. Don't forget, nice number, by the way. A big crowd from X. I didn't see anybody in the chat room in X today. I wonder why. But maybe because they're tired of StreamYard not fixing the system so they can participate. So at any rate, glad to have all you guys from X with us today. always nice to have, a nice number from you guys. All right, that's going to wrap it up for today, guys. Be back same time, same channel tomorrow. Don't forget, smash that thumbs up button. Please take this as my invitation to subscribe if you haven't done so, and add to that 6,600 that we hit during the night last night. Heading for 7,000 by next Tuesday. All right, that's going to wrap me up for today, guys. As always, stay safe, stay healthy. Think about cruising. And hopefully one day soon, we'll all get together on the high seas. Maybe we'll all get together and go to Alaska on MSC Poesia in 2026. That would be awesome. All right, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day, everybody.
I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry. So if you like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, Chillie chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner, hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chilliescruises.